Welcome, dear. So nice to have you. Bushra, are we ready? Maybe start. Lita, are we ready? Maybe start.
I'm all set. Thank you so much. I'm ready.
Okay. Lita, ma'am, maybe start. Okay, maybe unable to unmute or something. We'll start now then. So, good evening, morning, and good afternoon to some of us who are from different parts of the globe. And we are here to discuss goal number 2, and that is zero hunger. We are here for this international collaborative project, RiseUp4SDGs. Yes. And here you see the facilitators and the participants and the panelists here who are going to be talking about goal number 2, no hunger. Yes. And nothing is complete. You just can't walk in this world all alone. You need partners, beautiful partners, wonderful partners, and strong partners. And I get this strength from the partners, UNODC and SDG Chapal. I'm proud to be part of SDG Chapal, Next Schools and Smart Sustain. Smart Sustain is our media partner. Thank you, partners. Now, a little bit about this project. RiseUp4SDGs 2021 is an international collaborative project for people who are joining for the first time. This is an 8-month-long project, January to August 2021. Webinar, just 60 minutes sharp. Virtual meetings, second and fourth Friday. Panel discussion, 6 members plus 1 moderator. And agenda is a particular goal. Yes. And for the coming month, February, next month, the 2 goals we are going to deliberate on the 2nd and the 4th Friday is good health and well-being and quality education on 12th February and 26th February. Be ready to send your willingness to be the moderator or the panelist for this. A form would be shared in the chat window. And this is Lady Bushra and Naqvi, a lady full of life, vibrant, and she is the moderator of the day. She is the British Council Global Master Trainer, country coordinator, climate reality leader and active climate enthusiast, Teach SDGs ambassador, MIE Flipgrid Student Voice Ambassador, Wakelet, co-founder of SDGs Warrior, and our global classroom. She's a co-founder. Thank you, Bushra, for being the moderator of the day. Welcome, dear. And the keynote speaker is Farah Rustom, International Academician, Lebanon. Co-founder and MD, Vantisico Youth Education Center, VYC Microsoft Certified Trainer, Microsoft Certified Educator, MIE Expert, Adobe Global Educator, Global Peace Chain Ambassador, Wakelet Community Leader, Star 2020 by World Book of Records, CWDEVIS Award by Charles Walters Society for Innovation and Research. Thank you, Farah, for being with us today. And then we have a wonderful panelist, Mohit Kumar Singh, IT Integration Head of Indirapuram Group of Institution, a thorough gentleman with core specialization in IT and online solutions, certified trainer under AICTE and AIMA for higher education, awarded Adobe Creative Ambassador 2019. Thank you, Mohit. And the next panelist is Jingle E, Balocos, Project Development Officer 2, Officer Schools Division Office in Quezon City, and she's from Philippines, worked as Division of Public Schools Assistant Sports Coordinator, public school teacher, lecturer in College of Education. Formerly, she was a lecturer. Thank you, dear. And then we have Mr. Amandeep, PDD Computer Science from Kamla Nehru Public School, certified MIE, ACA and ACE, passionate graphic designer, and here we have an animal rescuer, animal lover here, video gamer and collector of rare action figures. Yeah, that's what I remember. And next is Nirmaladevi, Welcome, dear. Nirmala is from Malaysia. She has got 21 years of long teaching experience, head of English language panel of SK St. Patrick's SABAH, Malaysia. MI expert 2020-2021, MI trainer, Flipgrid, level 1 educator, Wakelet community member. Welcome, Nirmala. And here we have a young teacher. She just had an experience of 2 years and she rose up to the occasion. We had Selvam, and somehow Selvam was facing some challenges, and this girl, she volunteers and she joins us. She's a young learner who wants to learn more and explore more using various Microsoft tools in her teaching to make it more effective. She's from S.T.S World School, Raj Gomal, India. And over to Bushra to take over as the moderator of the day. Yes, Bushra dear, it's all yours now.
Thank you so much, Paramjeet ma'am. You're so kind with your words. You know, you are the leader and we are following your work. And this is a caravan that is, never ending caravan, and it's exceeding with every passing day. So welcome once again, everyone. We have our first session previously, and this is the second sequential on SDG 2. So without wasting a single minute, I would request my keynote speaker, Farah Rustom, to please come up with her words. Farah Rustom.
Thank you so much, and dear all, welcome to the International Global Project Sustainable Development Goals, Session 2, Zero Hunger, SDG 2. Moving to the topics of today, we're going to have an overview with the importance of zero hunger, and we will mention a few basic causes. Then we will highlight on the targets set by 2030. We're going to see together the current status. How can we achieve zero hunger by 2030? So, what is SDG 2 and what it aims to? Sustainable Development Goal SDG 2 Zero Hunger aims in particular to end hunger, achieve food security, and improved nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture. Let's see together. Why is zero hunger important? Zero hunger is important for several reasons. For its positive impact on our economies, human and social development. This is in addition to achieving other sustainable development goals such as education, health, and gender equality. Moving now to see few basic causes of hunger. We will start with some few basic causes which are societal, including poverty, conflict, and gender inequality. There are other environmental causes as well, such as seasonal changes, natural disasters, and lack of access to safe water. Moving to highlight on the SDG 2 targets by 2030. What are the targets set by 2030? All targets are there to end hunger, to end all forms of malnutrition, to double the agricultural productivity and incomes of small-scale food producers, to ensure sustainable food production systems. More targets are set by 2030 to implement resilient agricultural practices and maintain the genetic diversity of seeds, cultivated plants, and farmed and domesticated animals and the related wild species. Now, what is the current status of global hunger? If we look at the statistics, we can see that there is still a huge number of people, of children, are exposed to severe levels of food insecurity. They didn't have regular access to safe and nutritious and sufficient food, and are still affected by stunting, affected by wasting or acute undernutrition. What about the facts and figures? By the end of 2020, as per World Food Programme, 135 million suffer from acute hunger. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this number will be duplicated by putting additional 130 million people at risk of suffering acute hunger by end of 2020. Moving on, we will see together now what are the if we're going to achieve zero hunger by end of 2020. Actually, we cannot achieve zero hunger by 2030, and this is due to the pandemic crisis, and still we are not on the right track. We can see that the number of people affected by hunger would surpass 840 million by 2030. So how can we meet zero hunger by 2030 agenda? Let us share together a few recommendations. 1, keep a global food trade going. 2, we can keep the domestic supply chain gears moving. 3, we can fight the viruses in the world's poorest countries. More recommendations. 4, stay determined and committed to eliminate hunger worldwide. Other recommendations. Provide agriculture incentives. More, to formulate policies that support better agriculture investments. Promote child and women health care. And other recommendations to move on and share, boost the production and consumption of climate resilient native nutritional crops. We can move on to prioritize nutrition programs and to arrange hunger awareness campaigns. Here are a few resources to share with, and here are my social links with a big thank you for the whole team for this amazing job and efforts. Thank you so much, and see you with more collaborative projects.
Thank you so much, Farah. It was such an eye-opening, presentation, and it was great to see the sequence that you followed, that why, how, when, and how best we can achieve that. And I'm sure everyone has benefited from the statistics that you have shared, and they can get their very part, how best they can, put their part, what you have shared in the recommendations. Thank you once again, Farah. It was a great show up. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the participants, we do not want you to wait more, and we have another component for you, that is the virtual art gallery. It is said that a picture speaks 1,000 words. So let's just see what Mohit has in his bag to show up in the virtual art gallery. Over to Mohit.
Thank you and good evening to all for giving the chance to showcase artworks from the students who were aware of the Zero Hunger project of SDG 2. I will just showcase the art gallery from here. So we choose an outdoor and indoor mix of art gallery. Here we have the garden area. We were showcasing DLF Public School. We received a lot of entries from the LF Public School and KNPS School, Punjab. Now we move toward the indoor section of the art gallery. Here we have a comic strip.
Not shared. The screen is not being shared. It is not moving.
It's moving. It's okay. Perfect.
Then we have art presentation from Malaysian students, SJKT and SK Sagamat. There is a student game on a cat and a fish about zero hunger. Then we have business school from Israel showcasing the zero wastage on food and agricultural based setup, and SJKT Malaysian schools. Then in the outdoor section we have KNPS, Kamla Nehru Public School, Phagwara, Punjab. Here we can see the happy faces of students and the artwork. They were aware about zero hunger. They have a mix of art and digital posters. There is another indoor section. Here you can see artwork and posters by Indirapuram Public School Crossings Public Branch. And here we have an entry from S.T.S World School. And here is some detailed information-based, infographic-based artwork by Bal Bharati Public School.
Certificate
We hope to see more artworks in future sessions on different SDG, and students as well aware of the importance of SDG goals. Here's a little walkthrough of the gallery here. Thank you. Hope you have liked the art gallery.
Yes, don't hope. For sure, we all have enjoyed this art gallery around the coastal area, and it was a good show up. I was just feeling as if I am in the close to the Arabian Sea or the Indian Ocean. So it was a good show up and a very nice tour. And above all, it was great to see the students' work, the way they have depicted their thoughts, their words around. And of course, a big thank to you, Mohit, that the way you have disseminated and shared these pictures in this art gallery. It's really worth mentioning. And of course, a skilled person can do. And who says we are alone in this? We have people like you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, thank you so much, Mohit. And now we move on to Miss Jingle Balocos. She has something in her bag related to her school story. Okay, Jingle, over to you.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, a pleasant day or mid-afternoon or good evening to all our participants. Greetings of peace and good health. I am Ms. Jingle Balocos from the Schools Division Office of Quezon City, Philippines. To our honorable guests, mentors, fellow educators, youth leaders across the countries advocating for zero hunger, may I have the honor to present to youth leaders and educators best practices on SDG 2. Next slide, please. I would like to share that in the next slide or the second page that we have joint government projects wherein the Department of Education had its flagship programs on Gulayan sa Paaralan or the vegetation programs across all public schools in the country, which gives emphasis on the youth gardening activities. It has a back-to-back program also from our Department of Agriculture with a massive teacher training on urban vertical and backyard gardening. Next slide, please. Okay. We have our flagship project from the school to home backyard community gardening. Likewise, the school's initiative teachers will make school-based action plan which are the implementation are relative to the school to home and backyard community gardening. Okay, thank you. For our next slide, you will see there the youth development programs or projects are managed to have quarterly tripartite meetings wherein I myself, as the youth formator, together with the 1,964 school youth leaders and 196 teachers advisors, had arranged club meetings in zeroing in hunger as our advocacy. With the pictures you can see there, okay, that's our flagship project. Yes, thank you, please. Next slide. Okay, next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, there you go. So for our youth development programs, you can see that we have managed to quarterly to have our national partnerships. And likewise, we in order to strengthen our program against the rising number of malnutrition around the globe, we try to manage and make sure to engage with local, national, and international partnerships, just like actively participating in the Rise Up for SDGs series of webinars and learn from each other's best practices in eradicating hunger in our communities. And as a form of advocacy, we in the Quezon City, Philippines would like to highlight our active participation in the initiative of Rise Up for SDGs International Collaborative Projects. Undeniably, most of our public schools in Quezon City, Philippines supports SDG 2, or known as Zero Hunger, by maximizing the use of empty areas, may it be in our schools or our own yards, and planting more vegetables are almost around the school campuses and in their home backyards as well. In the next picture, you will see myself there. I was there, turning my back. You will see myself with our school-based management team. We do on-site school monitoring and evaluation in both elementary and secondary public schools in order to make sure that we strongly support the vegetation programs of our government. And lastly, once again, with our honorable mentors, guests, fellow educators, youth leaders across countries, let me share one of the famous lines of Mr. Martin Luther King, We may have all come in different ships now, but we're in the same boat now. Let us end hunger now. I am Miss Jingle Balocos from Quezon City, Philippines. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jingle. It was such a nice show up of your youth-led projects, and I'm really amazed the way you people have not only involved the youth, but also you have, rendered your services in collaboration for other schools as well. And of course, you have depicted very well that we may have all come in different ships, but we are in this boat together. So great to have you here. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, madam.
So, thank you, ma'am. So we have now our another component. This is again an exciting component that covers, students show up in terms of their writing practices and whatever they take up. So this is by Mr. Amandeep. Here goes the newsletter.
So, hello everyone. It is an honor and pride to present this newsletter to support SDG goal number 2. That is Zero Hunger on behalf of the entire Rise Up for SDG team. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, there you go. So over 200 artworks, poetry, articles, and activities were shared by different schools all across the globe. So let's have a glance by starting with, there you go, Wisman School. The activity was named Bring, Share, Spare. So it was all about letting students understand how to utilize food in a different way and spare some to those who really need it. Next activity on the right hand side is Warm Hugs. I just love this name. So it is by Bal Bharti Public School, Dwarika, which clearly explains that we don't need any special chance or reason to help other people by donating food and giving some clothes. So then we have followed by Golden Gates Global School celebrating World Food Day by giving food to the needy ones. Then comes Bal Bharti School Rohini branch supporting Zero Hunger with a campaign under which they collected 80 kilograms of grains and distributed to poor people. Okay, last but not the least, we have S.T.S. World School giving a religious touch by serving free food in Gurdwara Sahib. So in India, we call it langar, right? So technically it's free food. Okay, so here comes the art-based approach to praise SDG goal number 2, starting with Kamla Nehru Public School, Punjab. Very young artists presenting their posters. Then comes, okay, next we have tiny toddlers from SK, Jumeirah, Malaysia, followed by Seth Anandram Jaipuriya School, comes with the beautiful poetry. Some artworks are there as well. Moving towards the GD Goenka Public School, Siliguri, as I have mentioned, globally participation in the beginning, right? So both the pages are the explanation, even explaining itself very well, right? So here we can see GD Goenka Siliguri, SJKT Malaysia, SK Sankai Malaysia, Bal Bharti Dwarika. Then we have SMK Kuar Malaysia presenting their respective artworks and poetry as well. Sticking with the statement of global participation to promote SDG goal number 2, we can see, rather feel this fabulous collage of artistry submitted by Rotary Public School, DLF School Ghaziabad, Indirapuram Public School, and SKTRA Malaysia. Okay, let's hope towards the next page. Okay, this is one of the another interesting part. Even I would say this is the super interesting article written by a student of humanities stream of Rotary Public School, Gurugram. On the right hand side, we have a short but strong message shared by a teacher of Mother of Mercy School, Argentina. After that, we have 3 beautiful poetry lined up by Indirapuram Public School. And that's pretty much it. I request you to please participate for the next feature, SDG goal number 3. You can share your work on this given Wakelet link. Do not forget to mention your school name and student name. Join the movement by using the profile tags and hashtags on social media while sharing your project related to SDGs. For any inquiry, the emails are mentioned. And yes, we have the QR code for the tour to our virtual art gallery. So thank you so much, guys, for having me here.
Thank you so much, Amandeep, for such a colorful, eye-catching presentation through this newsletter. And we all know that, yes, picture speaks 1,000 words. But you know, the well-chosen words take you where the pictures they cannot. So the way you have depicted all these stories and write-ups and poems is really, really amazing. Thank you once again, Amandeep. Now we move on to another amazing school story related to SDG 2, and I request Ms. Nirmaladevi to please share her school story. Nirmaladevi.
Thanks, Bushra ma'am. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of the educators from around the globe. I'm Nirmaladevi Kandasamy from SK St. Patrick, Sabah, Malaysia. I'm honored to present about SDG Goal 2, number 2, Zero Hunger. Let me share my school story. I'm going to talk about food supplementary program, which is practiced in my school. This is a program to ensure year-round access to safe, nutritious, and sufficient food for primary school children. There is still much we can and should do to meet the food security, nutrition levels, and sustainable development challenges we face. These food supplementary programs, can you go back to the previous slide, please? Thank you. This food supplementary program is for primary school children from poor families. The students are aged 7 to 12 years old. The aim is to provide extra nourishment for school children. The food is actually served for the students during their break time. If they're in the morning session, the food will be served at 10 a.m. in the morning. If they are in the afternoon session, the food will be served at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. The aim is basically to provide healthy food and drinks for the children. Next slide, please. Okay, under this supplementary program as well, not only the chosen students are given information about eating good food, healthy food, but also other students as well. So this information in Malaysian education syllabus is actually incorporated in primary and secondary schools, in physical and health education, as well as science subjects. But if you can see here, these are some of the previous slide, please. If you can see here that some of the documentation prepared by the teachers in charge in order to take note of the students' BMI, the menu of weekly menu, and if the cards here are given to the student to let them to give feedback whether the food was good or any changes need to be done. Next slide, please. Okay, and this type of food pyramids is always a guide for the food caterers, and the teachers will keep in touch as well as educate the students in order to eat good food with proportionate level. Next slide, please. And these are some of the local food prepared by the caterers to be given for the students during this program. The students sometimes will be given porridge, noodles or soup-based food, some healthy drinks, depends on the teachers and the menu as well. So the caterers will provide the food and drinks in the school canteen based on the menus provided by the teachers in charge. Next slide, please. And the students during break time, they will gather in the canteen, school canteen. So a few teachers will be monitoring them, and the students will be gathering in the school canteen, and they will enjoy their free food and drinks given. If let's say the students did not finish up the food, and the teachers will definitely get feedback from the students, and there will be any changes in the food menu will be notified to the food caterers, because the ultimate goal is to make sure that the students eat good food and enjoy every bit of the food taken by them. Next slide, please. Okay, I believe it is a good program to promote zero hunger among the students. The parents, teachers, and administrators may adopt a culture to donate money to run this program at schools that are not funded. By participating, the children will have a chance to get good lunch or breakfast during school days. Those less fortunate children will be able to enjoy their meals and concentrate in their studies. The success of Malaysia and other countries should serve as an inspiration as we move together to ensure future of food security for all and hunger for none. That's all from me. Thank you for the whole team and also the attendees. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nirmala ma'am, for such a motivating and insightful story of your school. And really great satisfactions, they come from sharing because it doubles the happiness. And freedom is meaningless if people cannot put food in their stomach. This is Mandela's saying. And as educator, I always believe that school is a world to a child, which is a building with a world inside. And the way you are making that world for the children is really amazing. Thank you so much. So we move on to our young teacher that Ma'am Paramjeet introduced us in the beginning. This is Jasmeet Kaur. So, dear audience, welcome Jasmeet Kaur and see what she has in her bag. Yes, Jasmeet, over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Hello. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity and giving me this platform. Myself, Jasmeet from S.T.S World School, Rajkumar, India. I'm MIE expert from last 2 years. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Today I will share my school stories, school journey, which we are practicing in our school from last 3 years, and under the project of this Rise Up for SDG, we keep in mind three main points, that is end hunger, achieve food security and improve nutrition, and third one, promote sustainable agriculture. In these days, in last 15 days, our school, our teachers and students unite together to work for zero hunger challenge, and our teacher conducted some online sessions in which they showcasing they conduct online awareness for students. They aware students on SDG 2. As a result of students start working on, next slide ma'am. Students work on posters. They donate some food to needy ones. They went to gurdwaras and served langars there. And in this day, next slide ma'am. Students also start taking nutritious food to tackle the nutritious malnutrition in daily life. They start taking uh, balanced diet in their food and also make other aware of benefits of healthy food. Yes, ma'am. As our school is practicing SDG from since from last 3 years, before pandemic, our school students visited various ashrams, slums, and old age homes where they donate some fruits and other food essentials items to end up the malnutrition and fight with zero hunger. Yes, ma'am. Now, our main concern is climate change, and due to climate change, our agriculture practices got uh, declining day by day, for which our school student visited some farmers. They do some field trip where they educate farmers how they can practicing some sustainable agriculture for their increasing food production and for future sustainable farming practices. Yes, ma'am. And the end, as you can see, there's a quote: if you want to eliminate hunger, everybody has to be involved. So PK Dillon ma'am involved all of us in this project, and thank you so much ma'am for this opportunity. I hope we will make the world better for all of us. Thank you so much ma'am.
Thank you so much, Jasmeet, again for another very motivating and, of course, on your behalf, rather from our own team behalf, I would really appreciate that the way you have shared this thing, and specifically the component that you have touched with the zero hunger, that you people are helping the farmers in sustaining their agricultural practices in the local context. And of course, we all are in this together. So thank you so much once again. And yes, we really need young teachers like you with old blood, with old experience too, because we have to go far. And any question and answers, if people have, they can raise their hands, they can write in chat, or they can request for an unmute. And then, yes, someone has raised their hand. This is
Yes, Nagarajan.
Okay.
Yeah, go
Good
ahead.
evening, everyone.
Good evening. Bushra, it's
Can you-
all yours.
Okay, thank you. Just one question, ma'am, to all of you. We know we are in the situation where COVID has attacked the whole world. Just want to know what can we do so that we can, in a way, help those who are in need sufficient, so that we can overcome this zero hunger.
I think I don't see Bushra around. Any of
I'm
the
back.
participants?
I'm back, ma'am.
Wonderful.
Technology rocks and technology ditches at time. Okay. So yes, we have some questions, and we can see some hands. They are raised.
Bushra, we
ma'am.
had Nagarajan. He has already asked a question. We need to answer that. So from amongst the panelists who were present, anybody would like to give an answer? Please go ahead.
Ma'am, good evening.
Yes.
I am Miss Jingle Balocos, your presenter number 5. I would like to answer the question. In our little ways, I would like to share that we can address that by start planting little vertical or vertical gardening, or through using your empty lots there, you plant vegetations so that in the years ahead or in a few times from now, you can have something to get just inside your home or in your backyards already.
Thank you, Jingle.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. So we have another hand raised, Miss Shashi. Shashi, you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening to everyone. I'm Shashi Agnihotri from India. I just want to share that in our school, we are associated with an NGO, which is Roti Bank. So these Roti Bank people, they install a box every morning in our school when it was a regular school. And students from their houses, they used to bring 3 chapatis or a packet of biscuits or bread, and they used to put it in the box, in the basket, before 9 o'clock. And the NGO used to pick them up and distributed them to the needy. So this practice was going on very smoothly, and everybody was, every student was very actively participating in this. And during this pandemic time, it was like direct participation stopped, and indirectly we started contributing through cash. And now that NGO is using that money and providing food to the needy. So this was the initiative which I wanted to share with you all.
Such a great initiative, and the ones who are being given, they are not sure where this thing is coming from, and the ones who are giving, of course, they are feeling really great that they are helping someone in need, and of course, it's addressing SDG number 2. And thank you very much for sharing this, Shashi. So we have another question by Alka ma'am. Alka ma'am, yes, you may.
Yes, ma'am. I'm from Ghaziabad, Delhi Public School. I would just like to, add on to what Mr. Nagarajan just asked. In our own actions, and which can be, inculcated in the children. Because somehow, ma'am, if you look at all the 17 goals, you will see that, for achieving one, rest others are, kind of, they are seamlessly interwoven. Right? So, if I do an action, or my child does, like Jasmeet ma'am took her children to the Gurudwara. So that way, I believe that value can be inculcated. At the most, when they are serving food to the needy, that value can be inculcated. Then there is a freeze practice, ma'am. If you have, you might have heard about that in, social media platforms and all. Refrigerator, which can be kept outside the school, or let's say outside a society, right? And whatever food is left, that can be packed in nice packings. Not the all food messed up and all. Good portion of food can be packed, and anybody who's passing through, who's hungry, can pick that up and eat. So this practice is already, in India, many places this practice is going on. So main thing is that responsible consumption should also be there on our part, and we should inculcate the same in our students also, ma'am. So that was one suggestion that I wanted to put. Thank you, ma'am.
And yes, I'm sure a very great suggestion as well. And of course, wherever it is applicable, we all have to, follow such thing. And this is the beauty of this collaboration. That yes, I agree, all these goals, they are interrelated, but our focus for today is SDG number 2, and the sort of ideas we are coming up with, it's really, really great. So I'll definitely share this idea here in Pakistan as well, and of course anywhere in the world it can be shared. So we move on to Nagarajan. So I'm so sorry if I have pronounced it wrong. Nagar Jain or Nagarajan, ma'am? Yes, sir.
He's done with his question. You can
Okay,
talk
ma'am.
about tweet meet, please.
Right. So thank you so much, all. We have covered our all panelists, and this is my very part. So I'm Bushra Naqvi once again with you all, and I'm going to share that by the grace of God Almighty, we have covered these 2 sessions, and on every last day of the month, we will be covering a tweet meet. If any one of you is familiar with it, that's really, really great. But if you need some, information or instruction, so we will be planning a session tomorrow, same time, only for 15 minutes to get you acquainted with that. And Paramjeet ma'am will communicate the information with all of you. But tweet meets they'll be taking in all 8 months on the last days of every month, like 31st January, 28th February, 31st March, and so on till August. So in these 8 tweet meets, we will be covering 2 SDGs in particular. For instance, in this tweet meet that is happening on 31st, we will be covering SDG number 1 and number 2. We'll be sharing maximum of 5 questions, and questions around those 2 SDGs. You will be using the hashtags RiseUp4SDGs, SDG Chopal, SDG Warriors, and of course Teach SDGs and UN Doc hashtag as well. And the time will be 9 p.m. Indian Standard Time and 8:30 PST, Pakistan Standard Time, and we'll be putting the clock with you there. You can always adjust you people's timings as well. If you have, again, any question related to that, I can address, otherwise we move on. Yes, I really want you people to know that all those who have participated as panelists in the first webinar and in this second today's webinar, they will be the moderators of this tweet meet. They'll be receiving their posters by tomorrow, and they'll be sharing on the social media. And each moderator, of course, they'll be very much there on the tweet meet day for that 1 hour. And every question will be posted after 15 minutes, and we can address, the questions or the queries that we receive on those tweet meets. So yes, any question, please come up. Thank you so much. So I request Ma'am Paramjeet to please say a few words to conclude our session, and then we move on.
Thank you, Bushra. You have been a fantastic moderator as always, full of life. Your charm, your voice, everything is so inviting and so wonderful. A few announcements here before we leave. Ladies and gentlemen, we have shared the MS form in the chat window, and that is for you to fill as attendees in the outreach survey. If you fill this form as attendees, you will be getting your attendee certificates. Please be particular and please fill it up. Otherwise, challenges and a little difficulty. Next is another form has been shared in the chat window, and it is for you to volunteer to be panelist or the keynote speaker, keynote speaker or the panelist sharing your school story. So please do volunteer, and from amongst them, we'll be having some of you here for the next session. Next session is on February 12th. It is on goal number 3. And after this, it is on 26 goal number 4. Registration is one-time affair. You don't have to register every time for every session. It is just once you register. Then student certificate, most of them have been sent. In case it is not sent, please put your email ID in the chat window and mention this is for the student certificate. And then, of course, tweet meet day after, all Bushra's initiative. All the best to her and all of you. My beloved SDG goalkeepers, you are wonderful. You are stars of tomorrow. You are the leaders. You are the agents of change. And you are there to protect this world and make this world a sustainable world. The world is because of us, because of the educators, the change agents who are going to build a beautiful, fantastic world. You, me, everybody has a role to play, and we are going to play this role. We are scripting history. A project which started, RiseUp4SDG for educators, is now a project for students, because every goal we talk about here, the educators are talking about it with their students, with their colleagues. And even the newsletter links have been shared in the chat window. The first newsletter took a little time. There was plagiarism. We missed to check it, and when we checked it, we found we need to review it. The second one has been checked as we were managing and preparing. So thank you so much. God bless you. Thanks to all the wonderful panelists. Thanks to the moderator, great moderator. Thanks to the facilitators. I have Bushra and Rita ma'am as facilitators here. Thanks to those great partners. Without you, moving alone, a small distance, moving together and moving far, it is always partnership. And today we have collaborated for RiseUp4SDGs. Thank you. Good night. Goodbye. Namaste from India, and have a great evening, great morning, great afternoon, whatever part you are.
Great.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye, darling.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, dear. Bye, dear.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, all the panelists.
10 in number.
Thank you, Rita, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, sweetheart.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Everyone, thank you for the panelists.
And bye-bye, change agents. And bye, Ayappa. How did you like? Did you like it?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful
Fantastic, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
bringing me to this world.
It's a beautiful world. It is
Yes, ma'am.
beyond a
Thank you.
class.
Thank you.
It's beyond a
Raj,
book. It's
Raj,
reality.
this word was waiting for you. Raj, this
Thank
word
you,
was
Rita,
waiting.
ma'am.
So lovely.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, Bushra.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank you,
develop.
Bushra, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.